Welcome to #GoRight with Peter Boykin, where we stand strong as a voice for constitutional liberty and the principles that make our nation great. I'm Peter Boykin, a constitutionalist for liberty dedicated to ensuring that our constitutional republic remains a beacon of freedom, equality, and justice for all. Here on #GoRight, we cut through the noise, bringing you the truth about the issues facing our country with a moderate yet firm conservative Republican perspective. Our mission is simple: to uphold the Constitution, defend liberty, and to guide America in the right direction. Now let's dive into today's headlines and take a closer look at what's really happening in our nation. DNC's circus in Chicago, a deep dive into political chaos. The Democratic National Convention, the DNC, kicked off in Chicago, bringing with it a spectacle both inside and outside the United Center that leaves one questioning the state of our constitutional republic. This event, which marked the beginning of the DNC, saw the party bid a controversial farewell to Joe Biden, while chaos erupted outside, with leftists engaging in shockingly radical activities. Shockingly. Biden's disrespectful send-off. Inside the arena, the DNC's treatment of President Joe Biden was nothing short of disrespectful. Despite being the sitting president, they disrespect the last president, so how's it any different? Biden was pushed out of the prime time speaking slot, which is speech relegated to a late night appearance. Well, if anything, I've shown you, instead of having him late night, maybe you should have had him maybe where he's a little bit more awake during the day, his waking hours, right? This move, seen as many as a slap to the face, was widely criticized, and CBS correspondent Mark Knoller remarked, quote, "They took the nomination away from him and now booted him out of prime time." Time reporter Charlotte Alter echoed these sentiments, calling it a huge mistake. This treatment of Biden comes after what many perceived as a coup within the Democratic Party, where his removal from the 2024 ticket was orchestrated behind closed doors. Because certainly nobody actually voted for him, or voted for Kamala to be up there. Again, zero votes. An anonymous Biden aide expressed deep frustration, telling Axios, quote, "This is awful. He literally set up a campaign and handed it over to them. Do they have to cut him out of prime time?" When Biden took stage, his speech was filled with the familiar tone of defensiveness, both of it, often raising his voice and repeating really long, debunked claims about former President Donald Trump. His remarks only serve to underscore the disconnect between Biden and the younger, more radical elements within his own party, right outside the door. Radical rhetoric from the left. The night also featured speeches from key Democrat figures such as Hillary Clinton and Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, whatever her name is, AOC. Now, Clinton reveled in the legal challenges facing Trump, labeling him as, quote, "the first person to run for president with 34 felony convictions." Well, they just hadn't caught you yet, Hillary, because you keep offing all the people who have the information on you, right? Meanwhile, AOC fired up the crowd with a baseless accusation saying that Donald Trump would sell this country. Donald Trump would sell this country for $1 if it meant lining his own pockets. Yeah, right. Ignoring the fact that Donald Trump donated his presidential salary throughout his tenure. Donald Trump is not making money off of this. And what gets me, folks, these people are so brainwashed. And I'm not telling you that there's not people on the right that's brainwashed in some of the stuff that they believe in. We are the party that still have these QAnon people. Sorry. If you're into QAnon that much, I'm sorry, but I've seen so much fake news coming out of that. But these DNC people, you know, like they call us the MAGA people. These DNC people, they have believed the Kool-Aid. They have drunk the Kool-Aid. And they cheer for the Kool-Aid. And they keep reiterating fake news. Oh, they're talking about us spreading misinformation. Fake news. Constantly. Constantly. And they believe it. These are low, ignorant voters. Sorry. Sorry, folks. You're low, ignorant voters. I've got a couple of messaging me that after telling them the facts, they're saying, I'm going to vote for Kamala Harris. I was like, well, you're crazy. Because the definition of crazy is repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again and getting and expecting different results, because it's not going to happen. Meanwhile, chaos in the streets of Chicago. While the drama unfolded inside, the scene outside the United Center was even more disturbing. Planned Parenthood's, quote, murder mobile, a van offering free abortions and vasectomies, was parked outside the DNC, fully booked before the event was even begun. This shocking display epitomizes the extreme positions that have come to define the modern Democrat Party. Come on down to the Democrat DNC and get an abortion and a vasectomy. Yeah, right. And listen to AOC. A mess. Adding to the chaos were thousands of pro-Palestine protesters clashing with police outside the arena. These left-wing radicals tore down the walls erected for security, breaching the perimeter and creating a volatile situation. Oh yeah. The best way to demonstrate that Palestine is such a great country is by creating violence and tearing down walls and causing more violence. Totally a great demonstration for Palestine, right? The irony here is palpable. While the Democrat Party opposes border walls to protect our communities from illegal immigration, they had no qualms about erecting walls to shield themselves from the very radicals that policies they have emboldened. And while they're doing that, trying to take away the police, they have police with, get this, guns. You know, the very guns that they don't want us to have, protecting them. Oh, yes. Now, Trump and Vance, there's a lighter side, Trump and Vance take the fight to swing states. In a stark contrast to the DNC self-congratulatory spectacle of insanity, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance launched a multi-state brainstorming tour aimed at countering the Democrat narrative. We got another one coming in here in North Carolina. It was in the mountains, which is Asheville, and then now it's going to be Asheboro, which is confusing 1 week later. I'll probably go into that, and I will take live video from that, hopefully, if I can get a good signal. As Democrats gathered in Chicago, Trump and Vance hit key swing states, engaging with voters on economic and energy issues while highlighting the failures of the Biden-Harris administration, which there are many, so it's probably a long speech. Trump began the week in Pennsylvania, delivering a speech focused on trade, tax cuts, and pro-energy policies, while Vance made his presence known in Philadelphia, speaking directly to the working-class voters who have felt the brunt of the current administration's policies. Now, in conclusion, the contrast between the DNC's chaotic circus in Chicago and the strategic outreach by Trump and Vance couldn't be more stark. While the DNC seems content with its radicalization and internal strife, Trump and Vance are making their message directly to the American people, emphasizing the importance of returning to the foundational principles of the constitutional republic. This battle for the soul of America is far from over, folks, and the upcoming election will be a pivotal moment in determining the future direction of our nation. Now let's do a quick #GoRight wrap up. Folks, there's chaos in D.C. Well, in the DNC. Well, there's chaos in D.C. There's chaos in America. And it's because of radicalism. Radicalism from the left, radicalism from the right. Anything that can damage our Constitution and our constitutional rights is a danger to the American citizens. And people, it's so funny and ironic that the left will talk about misinformation and fake news and how it's dangerous to our democracy. Yet they will destroy our democracy by throwing somebody under the bus, Biden, installing somebody without a vote, without the process, without the due election process, into the presidency at the 11th hour. Meanwhile, telling us beforehand, everything's fine, believe us, Biden's great. And all of a sudden, Kamala is our hero, and she's doing a great job, and there's commercials on TV talking about they're enacting great things, and they are enacting bills and strong bills against the border, when all they're doing is trying to clean up their own mess. But honestly, they're cleaning up their own mess with an even messier towel. This is an important election year to vote for the correct individuals. And I'm not telling you got to vote all Republican or all Democrat or all anything. Vote for the right people. If you want America to live and us to be free, we have to understand it's we the people, by the people, for the people. And our Constitution is our guide. Regardless of politics, do not let the extreme pull you in. Compromise is our best principle. Making it better for America. We cannot make America great. We cannot make America great again. We cannot keep America great if we don't learn to work together. There was a meme earlier I read. It had the top half was blue, the bottom half was red, and it says, "Who do you think would win in a civil war?" Well, because the red was more logically possibly the winner. The real answer was no one. No one will win in any type of civil war. The best course of action is always peace. And I wish people would learn from that. Now that wraps up our coverage, at least right now, of the DNC's chaotic spectacle in Chicago and the strategic counter-programming by Trump and Vance. It's clear that we're at a crossroads in our nation, where the choices we make will determine the future of our constitutional republic. But what does this all mean for you, the American people? Stay tuned for our #GoRight breakdowns every day, where we'll dive deeper into these events and more, offering my perspective on the implications of our nation's future and what we can do to ensure we continue moving in the right direction. Remember, it's not just about going left or right. It's about going right for America. God bless everybody. Peace.